It's time to make this rust situation go away. Welcome back, everybody. If you watched the last couple videos, you saw that I replaced my frame rails and added suspension airbags and painted the frame. So now that I got all that done, I'm going to start on the body work, starting with the rockers and cab corners, mainly focusing on that. And I also have new rear doors that I can put on and new front fenders, so I don't have to worry about fixing those. The other thing I need to do is replace these floor pans on both sides in the front. It's kind of hard to tell, but they're only held in there by the carpet because it's completely rusted out. So I'll be working on that too. And I should warn you that, first of all, I have a cold, so I sound funny, and second, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm gonna wing it and hope it goes well. I wanna fix that too. Well guys, as you can see, this went a little bit farther in depth than I thought it might. It's been a couple days since that last clip you saw because I've actually been sick with a fever for the past couple days. So this is my first time back out in the shop in a little while. But I was taking these plastic pieces off right here, and there was a whole bunch of wires running up through everywhere. I was like, that's kind of odd. I don't know what all that's about. So I started chasing all the wires, and it is a disaster. I mean, you see all this, and I'll show you a couple clips in a little bit, but there's just, all this stuff was packed up under the dash, and all this stuff, it's a Viper 5301, which is I think it's a security system, and like a remote, it's got remote start and everything. I looked a little bit of it up. But I don't think that I need all that in this truck, and it's kind of, it was just a disaster under this dash. So I'm trying to clean some of that out. And he had strobe lights on all the bumpers and everything too. So I'm trying to just clean house on some of this a little bit. But I don't know if you can tell, I hope the audio is better. I got a microphone here. Can you hear me? But it seems like, from the couple tests I've done, it seems like it works pretty good, so I'm gonna try it out and see how it works. Let me know what you think. All right, guys, I've got this pretty well cleaned up how I want it. Pretty much back to factory original. A lot of wiring got pulled out of there. You can see that tangled mess. That was all up under the dash, every bit of it. So it looks a lot better now. But anyways, the next step, I think I'm gonna pull the driver's seat out. That'll give me better access to this floor pan. And I decided to start with the floor pans because I'm afraid that if I go cutting and welding up next to new rocker panels that have Bondo on them, I don't want to go beating and banging around on these rocker panels and break any Bondo loose or anything that might be put in there. So I think the easiest thing to do is just going to be to start with these floor pans. So first I'm going to take this seat out, and then I'm going to look under the carpet and see what I need to do next. And now that that's done, we can lift this up out of the way. Yep, that's about what I thought. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's pretty well trashed. Well, this just keeps getting better and better. I was replacing the floor pan, and I got to looking, and it's like, well, I almost have to replace the rocker panels before I do this floor pan. You can see here, this edge is all rusty right here, and this lip right here, I don't know if you can see that, but that's the inside rocker panel. Well, if I cover this whole thing up with floor pan, there's really nothing to weld to right here on this edge on the pan, so I have to replace all this before I do that. That way I have something to weld to finish that up. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just do the rockers now then. Well, I got to watching videos online, and everybody else cuts theirs about right here because they say they don't rust out from here forwards. It just doesn't really happen. Yeah, okay. That looks rusted out to me. So basically I have to take this front fender off, do the rockers. I'm just going to put my new fender on, that way I don't have to worry about it. It's not going to match for right now, but that's all right. It'll get painted. And yeah, the fun continues. So I'm going to get that fender off and see what it looks like. All right, this is turning into a mess. The hardest part is I can't even see what's what. It's so rusted, there's no pieces that come together and just naturally form. They're all just, it's just a conglomerate of rust. So I think my next step is going to be to mount this outside rocker panel, get it mocked up and figure out, just get it exactly where it needs to be. And then there's an inside panel that comes down right here on like the whole way across. And once this is mounted up, then I'll be able to see how tall I should make that inside panel. Because right now I have no way to know how to build it until this is on. So I think that's my next step. This floor pan is going to be a little tricky, but I'll worry about that later. Yeah, it's a treat right now. All right, so here's the deal. I got the bottom rocker panel put in, and I went and got a new back door tonight. So I put that on, but the problem is there's a pretty big gap right here on the door seam. But the reason for that is because these door hinges are shot. You can see how much that door moves. It's just too worn out right here. So I got new hinges ordered, so I'll have to put them on. But the problem is the door is not where it's going to hang normally because of them loose hinges. So I can't really do any more adjusting on that bottom panel to get the gap right on the bottom. But once those hinges come in, I'll pick back up on the other side and go from there. I was welding this cab corner on, and all of a sudden I smelled smoke, which you would think, oh, you're welding, there's going to be smoke. But this was way more smoke than normal. And I looked up and there was smoke just rolling out of the top, I don't know, somewhere up here. And apparently it caught fire inside there. So I ran over here and grabbed the hose, hooked it up and shoved it up under the bottom, up in here, because I could see the fire. There was fire up in there. And I felt like I got most of it, but then I waited a little bit longer and there was still smoke. So I had to end up drilling a hole up here. Where's it at? Right there. I drilled a 1/2-inch hole and just started pumping water down into it. It's really not ideal at all, but I got to do what you got to do, I guess. But you can see that I got this big gap filled. I ended up cutting out some pieces of the leftover rocker panel, stuffed it in there, welded that out, got this all welded out, so I'm ready to sand it all down and clean it up. But I don't know what to do differently, I guess. I mean, I can't really reach up in the bottom there and pull all that foam out. I mean, obviously not anymore, but I'm talking about on the other side even. But I don't want that to happen again, so not sure what to do with that. But I think I'm going to hang out here for a little bit longer tonight and make sure it's not going to catch on fire. And then hopefully tomorrow night I can get this all finished up. All right, guys, I'm just about done with this thing. I've got the floor pan replaced. I ended up using the side of my washing machine for this. It's the same thickness as the original metal that was in there, so it's pretty solid. And it's easy to bend. So I used that. Got everything welded in. I used seam sealer on all the cracks that didn't have weld on them. Inside or underside, and then also on top here. I've got everything sanded down on the corners where I welded, all those seams, everything's sealed up. The next step is putting this carpet back in, and then the front fender, hook the hood back up, put the doors on, and I think that'll about wrap up this side. Well, like I said, I'm not going to video the other side because it's the exact same as this one, and it's a lot more time consuming to video stuff, and I just want to get it done. Well, there it is. It definitely is not pretty, but everything looks pretty good. All the body lines are lined up pretty well. I didn't get all the inside finished up completely, like the wiring hooked up and all that. I'll probably do that after I get the other side done. I just wanted to get the outside finished up, and pretty much everything's done on it, I think. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, but man, does it need painted. But that'll happen sometime, I'm just not sure when. So, I think that's going to wrap up this video. Thanks for watching. Next video might be hauling some corn. I'm not sure yet. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you in the next one.